He lived on the line. He goes to the problems. He has a really deep understanding of not just the product, but like the physics behind the product. There's so many stories of him having this deep intuition for what the materials in a thing can do, where the threshold is, and pushing engineers and designs over and over and over to like get to that failure point and find what the true, like most elegant, most simple, most efficient version of the product could be.
Can you give us some examples of that?
One is the thickness of the stainless steel welds on Starship, right? And so the design engineers gave one number, and then he went and talked to like the guys actually doing the welding, and they were kind of like, we think maybe like 4.5 millimeters would be like getting to sketchy. And he's like, let's try 4 millimeters. And 4 millimeters worked. Even the move to stainless steel, like most rockets previously had been made with carbon fiber, it's just really hard to work with and it's big. And he had this intuition and knew that stainless steel at low temperatures gains strength. And so once the rocket's actually up in orbit, it's stronger, which is an easy thing to forget. And so he's like pushing people over and over again to like use things that are cheaper, use things that are easier to work with, reduce the moving parts. My summary of Elon is David Goggins level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance. And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in, like even if you put in this amount of time to try to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like you couldn't make the calls that he's making, or you couldn't push on the things that he's pushing on. And of course, he's not always right. And of course, the engineers are always the ones like doing the highest volume of the real work. But as you say, like the founder is the guardian of the company's soul, and he is there to raise the bar and push people. And I think he has this really keen sense of, I love the line so much, failure is essentially irrelevant unless it's catastrophic. And so he pushes these things to the breaking point, pushes the materials, pushes the designs. He wants to reach the point where he knows for sure that it's the most efficient version of the design, because the mistake or the failure that reveals that information is going to pay off 1,000,000 times. We're going to make 10,000 of these engines, and I don't want an inefficiency in there that we're going to replicate 10,000 times. I want to make the failure. I want to fail 500 times on every single design decision so that I know that we have the most elegant thing as we scale up and ramp up.